Hey, Steven Sutter here, and this video is going to be a pack list of my 2016 Muir Trail through hike. We're starting June 10th and hiking to July 1st. And I just want to preface that you don't need a pack this big unless you're bringing the amount of camera gear that I'm bringing. But besides that, let's see what's inside. All right, so this is my food for 10 days on the Muir Trail. Each line here is 1 day of food, so obviously there's 10 here. I'll go through each day and let you know how I'm eating and what's what. So I'm gonna start out every single day with a Starbucks instant coffee. And for breakfast, I have a Pro Bar. And these Pro Bars are between 370 and 400 calories each. Just something quick, simple, because I don't want to be making food right away in the morning. It's not something I want to worry about. I want to worry about packing up camp and moving on. So generally every day is a Pro Bar for breakfast. Then 2 snacks. So I just have assorted trail mixes. And then a Cliff Bar every day. And for lunch, I'm eating People, which is really great. Actually, this stuff's called Soylent. It's a meal replacement powder. Each one of these bags is 500 calories and all sorts of different vitamins and minerals. And to go along with it, I have either peanut butter powder, which mixes in just like peanut butter. It's just dehydrated. And then hot chocolate mixes in really well. And if I don't use one of the flavorings one day, I can just make hot chocolate at night, which is great. And then after lunch, same thing, another 2 snacks. So right here I have some Oreos or pretzels. Some days I have a second Pro Bar for some of the bigger climbs. And then a candy bar every day. So Milky Way, Snickers, Twix, Payday, Three Musketeers, a different candy bar every day. And then for dinner, I have a dehydrated meal. Mountain Houses, there's some Alpine Airs, and Backpacker's Pantry. So this one is chicken teriyaki. And then I just wrote down how much water it needs and how long it needs to sit. So each day got repackaged into a Ziploc bag. So there's everything from beef pho to chili mac with beef. There's spaghetti, Italian pepper steak. I know there's some barbecue chicken somewhere in here too. But generally this is every single day's worth of food. And then after dinner every night, I have a tea and a sugar to go with my tea. So I'll do that every night after dinner. And every day has some sort of an electrolyte drink. So this is just a Gatorade mix powder. And some days it's just a Propel. And that just kind of mixes it up because outside of drinking my lunches, it's just water. So I wanted to mix it up, have some flavor. And I also just have a bag of Jolly Ranchers that I can eat a couple each day and just kind of mix it up, something to keep in my mouth. Just have some flavor. And then 9 days of the food up here will go into my bear can. And the first day I won't put in my bear can. I'll just keep it in my pack because I'm going to be eating it throughout the day. So yeah, 9 days will go into this, and then this will end up going in my pack. So that's my food for 10 days on the Muir Trail, and the second 10 days I'm resupplying at Muir Trail Ranch. So let's take all of the food for our first 10 days, and we're gonna get it up in this bear can. I won't be putting the first day in here, like I said before, just because you're eating it the first day, so there's no reason to put it in here and have to keep opening it. And that just allows me to bring a little more food and not worry about it not fitting. So let's open this up. So let me put some of this stuff to the side. what I generally like to do is start with all of the big solid items. So all the Pro bars. So let's grab all of those. Just kind of throw them in here for a second. And then all of the Cliff bars. The reason I put these in first is because they don't really mold and they don't really move. So we'll just stack them into the bottom. Because like bags like these, they can kind of bend and move around and like kind of fill in a gap. Where those are pretty much the same shape they're going to be. So just throw all these in here. All the candy bars. And then what I start doing is I just start lining the side of the bear can with everything. Shouldn't have put everything in there all at once. That's okay. Take some more of this out. Just kind of stand everything up and just stack it in here. All right, so what I have so far here is just all of the Cliff bars and Pro bars and then the candy bars just packed as tight as I can down to the bottom. And then I'll start filling in with all the snacks in the meals. So let's start doing that. All right, so that's pretty much all 10 days of food. I accidentally put in the Cliff bars and Pro bars and snacks for the first day, but I kept out my first night's dinner, and then I just kept out this Soylent. It doesn't really have much of a smell. I'm only gonna have to really sleep on it the first night, and then the second day I'll be able to get everything into here. But this is 9 days of food in here, and then you know, about 1 day's worth of space of food here. And each day weighs about, I guess a little over a pound. So this will end up being at its heaviest, about 12 pounds. All right, let's talk about all the clothes and sleeping system for the Muir Trail. So I guess we can start with the regular clothes. So my shirt for the trail is a Columbia Silver Ridge shirt, and this thing's great because it has all sorts of venting in the back and for the armpits, and it has an extended pop-up collar so you can protect your neck from sun and avoid getting some sunburn. And then for my pants, it's the REI Scree-Line pants. I'm not going to lift these all the way up, but they also have some venting behind the knees and some added fabric on the knees and butt so you don't tear your pants on trail. And then I have Patagonia Strider Pros in the 5-inch, and these shorts are great. They're lightweight. If you like to wear underwear on trail or not, these have a liner in them. You can cut it out or leave it, up to you. They have all sorts of pockets on here where you can squeeze in a Cliff bar, maybe a stinger or something. And then it has a big pocket here in the back where you could put some keys or, you know, whatever you're using on trail. And to go along with that, I have a Patagonia Capilene lightweight offset seam shirt. And this is great to wear under a pack because the seams on the shoulders aren't right on the top where your pack sits. They're offset, so you're not going to get any chafing. And in addition, they use these low profile seams, so you shouldn't have any problems with chafing on your shoulders with your pack. So let's get into some of the layering. So right here is the Marmot Minimalist Gore-Tex jacket. And this is about the cheapest, simplest Gore-Tex jacket you can get. and has all your general stuff, chest pocket. It has hand pockets, it has pit zips, and any sort of adjustment you can think of for the hood. Also have a North Face, just a generic North Face micro fleece, and the Patagonia ultralight down jacket. And this thing is great. Same thing, it has hand pockets and a chest pocket. And this thing compresses down to a little bit bigger than a baseball. It just all packs right down into the chest pocket. So that's great. And then just some fleece hat and gloves when it gets cold at night at camp. Let's talk about shoes. So I am bringing camp shoes on trail. These are the Vivo Barefoot Ultra 2s. They're really lightweight, and after a long day of hiking in your boots, it's really great to just put on some of these. Your feet vent and they air out. They're pretty comfortable. And you can also wear them for river crossings as well to keep your boots dry. And speaking of boots, these are the Merrell ventilators. These aren't the waterproof version. I opt for a non-waterproof so they dry out faster when they do get wet, because on trail your shoes are going to get wet. So I'd rather them dry out faster than just stay wet all day. These are nice. They have a nice Vibram sole, and they're pretty cheap. They're about $100. And this year is a pretty high snow year, and we're hiking in June. So we also brought some Catula, I'm not really sure how to pronounce the brand name, micro spikes. So that'll give us some better traction if it's icy or steep slope and it's kind of snowy. So that's that on them. And let's talk about sleep system now. So my sleeping bag is the REI Igneo, which is a 20-degree sleeping bag. And my base layer is the Patagonia Capilene thermal weight base layer. And believe it or not, the thermal weight base layer is actually lighter than their mid-weight base layer and warmer. So it's a two-parter, and then same thing here with the pants. And lastly, I have my underwear, which are Patagonia Capilene Daily Boxer Briefs. I have 2 pairs of those. And then I have some REI Trail Light gaiters, just some lightweight, simple gaiters to keep some trail debris and dirt out of my boots. Just a generic bandana. You can use this for all sorts of things. You can wear it around your neck to cover your neck from sun. You can use it to filter water. If there's an injury on trail, you can use this for all sorts of things to pack a wound. And then I have 2 pairs of Darn Tough wool socks. These things are great to hike in, and they also have a lifetime warranty. So if you ever rub a hole in them or rip them or anything, you just send them back and they'll send you a brand new pair for free for life. And like I said, we're hiking in June, and June is buggy in the Sierras. So here's just a head net for keep the mosquitoes out of your face and such. So that's everything as far as clothing and layering and the sleep system goes. So let's get the rest of the gear out on the table, and we can talk about packing and everything like that. All right, here is all of my gear for the JMT. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff on here, and I'm just gonna quickly touch base on everything. But at the end of in the description, I'll have a gear list where you can check in and see exactly what item is what. So I'll start over here. For my water and my water filtering, I have a platypus hosier, or hoser, I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. Just a 2-liter. And then I have my Sawyer mini filter hooked up in line. So what I'll end up doing is just putting my dirty water straight into this, and then I can drink throughout the day, just straight through the tube. And then when I get to camp at night, what I can do is I can hang this up and then take the mouthpiece off, and then it turns into a gravity filter. So I'll be able to filter water into my, my jet boil and stuff so I can cook with. And it actually flows pretty quick. I think it's about 1.5 liters a minute when it's gravity fed, and you don't have to work too hard to get it through the tube while it's in your pack. And then just as a secondary water bottle, I have the Platypus 1 liter, just flex bottle. And these weigh less than an ounce. I think they're like 0.9 ounces. So they're just small and simple, and they fold up. So you can just kind of tuck them somewhere in your pack. I also have a Nalgene bottle. And the reason I have this is for my food, the Soylent, it needs to be mixed. So for the meal of Soylent, I add 16 ounces of water, and then I pour the powder in. And I have a blender ball in here. So I end up just shaking it up, and it smooths it out and makes it easy to drink. I have this Snow Peak 600 titanium cup. So this is what I'll be making my tea in and my coffee in. And any smaller meals, I could actually make them in this if I wanted. So that's just my mug. And then I have a Sea to Summit, or I'm not really sure what the thing is. It's like the Alpha Light Spork, the long one. I think this is 0.6 ounces. It's super light, and you know, it actually doesn't take up much space in the pack. It's pretty small. Here's my JetBoil. I have the JetBoil Minimo, and I'm not going to take a lot of time with this because there's a ton of videos talking about these. But here's the mug of it. I'm not going to be eating out of this. I'm pretty much solely going to be using this to boil water in, and then I'll make my meals, and then maybe rest the bag in this. So, because I just want to keep this as clean as possible. There's no reason to dirty it up. So this is my JetBoil. Here is the Goal Zero. It's the Nomad 7 solar panel. And then I also have in the back here, I'm not going to take it out, but an Anchor battery pack, which will charge up during the day, and then I can use this to charge my phone and GPS at night. Speaking of GPS, I have the InReach Explorer, which is really great and keeps mom and dad happy. All the friends know where I'm at. So, and if anything goes wrong, there's an SOS button, and it'll send emergency services. What else is here? I just have a generic REI camp towel. I think this is the medium size. For my knife, I have the Leatherman Squirt PS4, which is really great. It has just a small pair of pliers. It has scissors. It has a file, a knife, screwdriver, just the simple things that you need, but doesn't weigh too much either. I already talked about my micro spikes, but here's the bag that everything comes in. Just a pair of sunglasses, my national park passport. Basically, you go to national parks and you can stamp off or cancel your visit. So I take this with me pretty much everywhere I go. I have, this is like my med kit and some of my toiletries. So I have a toothbrush and my toothpaste here. Some ibuprofen, allergy medicine, anti-diuretic. This is some Dr. Bronner's soap in just a little dropper bottle. The smallest body glide I could find, some chapstick, a little bit of duct tape, a lighter. And there's some moleskin in here and some Band-Aids. And then here's my repair kit, and I also have some Picardin in here, just some bug spray. Like I said, in June, bugs are not so great. So I just have 10 feet of some paracord, another lighter, some tenacious tape, a little bit of duct tape, and some patch kits for my sleeping pad. And I use wipes, baby wipes out in the wilderness. Just keeps things clean and tidy. Just repackage them into this. If you want to, you can actually dry these out and they'll take up even less space, and then rehydrate them on trail. But I don't think it's worth it for only 10 days. So here is my sleeping pad. It's the Thermarest X Lite. And I actually have the women's version because I'm not that tall, which saves a couple of ounces for me. And then wrapped up inside, I have my Sea to Summit ultralight pillow, just to kind of prop my head up at night. I have my tent stakes here. I'll open it up for you. I use the MSR Groundhog Minis, which actually end up being the same weight as the standard aluminum ones that come with it, but they'll hold much better. So you don't add any weight by doing that. I have my tent, which is the REI-2. It's a 2-person tent. Both my girlfriend and I are going together this time around. So this tent's great. It's super light. I think it only weighs 2.5 pounds. So that's nice. And we'll split that up between us, which will save some pack weight. I also have these REI carbon fiber trekking poles. And just a little trick to wrap some duct tape right around your pole so you have quick access to it. Say you're hiking and you rip your down jacket and you don't have time to stop to get your tenacious tape out. You can just grab some duct tape, patch it up real quick so you don't lose your down, and then when you get to camp, get your patch kit out and do it right. Just have a little bit of hand sanitizer, so after going to the bathroom, I can just kind of keep things clean and tidy there. And I also have a Tenkara rod because I plan on fishing on trail. This is the Sato. So it's a 10'8" rod, but it also extends out to 12'9". So it's great for fishing on trail. And then along with that, I have a little bit of a tippet. And then I have this line holder that has some line on it, and then inside of here, it holds all of my flies. So it's all together in one spot, which keeps things nice and simple. And as some of you know, I'm a photographer, and for the trip, this is my tripod. It's the Me Photo Road Trip. It only weighs about 3 pounds, and it's a full-size tripod and holds enough weight that I need. So I'll just set this down here for now. And I'm not going to open this up, but this is a Low Pro 20-liter dry bag. And I'm shooting an old sort of Ansel Adams type of camera. And I'll put up some photos of it just so you see what it looks like. But that's stored in here. And then I have my big bag of film to shoot in that camera, as well as my little film point and shoot camera here. And last but not least is my hiking pack. So this is the Gregory Balturo 75. This pack's great. But just a disclaimer, if you're not hiking with a giant camera like I am, you do not need a pack nearly this large. You can get away with a 65-liter or smaller pack. But this thing's great. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail either because there's tons of videos on this pack. But it has everything you would expect in a normal pack. And one thing that's pretty cool is right here, you have a waterproof hip back. So you can put your phone in here, your GPS. For me, my camera fits in there great. And so if it's raining or anything, you don't have to worry about your electronics getting damaged. So that's all of my gear for the trip. And so you already saw my clothes, you saw my food, you saw all my gear. Last thing is just to pack it up and see what it looks like. So let's get started on that. All right, so we got everything here laid out on the table. All the gear, all the clothes, the bear can, the packs here. So let's just get everything and pack it in. All right, so start with the hydration bladder, just because if you've ever tried to put one of these in when your pack is full, it just doesn't go in. It just doesn't happen. So we'll get that going. All right, sleeping bag. The one tip I will say is just make sure all of your compression straps are nice and loose. It just makes everything really easy to get in. And then you can tighten everything down once it's all there. So after my sleeping bag, just start getting some of my clothes in. Get my down jacket in next. Anything that you do not need to get access to during the day is what you put in all the way at the bottom of your pack. So obviously you won't get to your base layer until you're sleeping as well. You know, your second pair of socks. Get in there. Take your rain jacket. Go on the outside. And camp shoes. And micro spikes. Now for the bear can. And then what I like to do is take some clothes and stuff it all around the bear can so it doesn't slip or move around. After this point, I like to get my camera bag in, which does take a couple minutes here because it just gets inside. It's all in my pack. It doesn't look pretty. If I were to take my time and pack it not so fast, it would obviously be a little bit better. But everything's in here. This camera bag's pretty bulky, so that really takes up most of my space. This Goal Zero panel ends up just strapping up here like this. And that'll get sun all day while I'm hiking and charge up my batteries. And I'm actually not carrying the tent, my girlfriend is, but if I was, I could strap it to the bottom of my pack and that would be everything. So there's my monster of a pack. All in, I think, with a full bear can, water, and all my gear, it's about 40, 45 pounds, but obviously as you eat every single day, it drops a pound a day just in food. So this is it. That's all of my gear. That's all of my food. That's all my clothes. And this is everything in my pack. So everything fit. That's everything. For a detailed pack list, there'll be a link in the description. And besides that, see you on trail. How dumb was that? Pack list, there'll be a link in the description. And man, God damn it. It was, all right, so that all fit. That all fit. It all fits.